Behold the Breitspurbahn, a magnificent engineering marvel as grand and bold as any mega project in history. It was built during a time when Nazi Germany was trying to show off how powerful it was. This train was a huge project and cost a lot of money. Even today, we can still feel the impact of this project. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the history of the Breitspurbahn, its design, its impact on mega engineering, and why it's still relevant today. So sit back, grab a snack, and learn about one of the most incredible railway projects in history. Let's unveil the terrifying and dark history of the Nazi regime's biggest infrastructure plans. The Breitspurbahn, also called the Giant Nazi Railway, is the best example of the grand ambitions. It's a story that you will find fascinating. Let's dive in and find out how it all started. Breitspurbahn wasn't just any railway, it was a weapon, a propaganda tool, and a relic of the Nazi regime's superiority. But how did it all start? Let's take a short trip back in time to explore the origins of the infamous Breitspurbahn Railway and its connection to the Nazi Party's corrupt vision. It is 1933, and the cruelest man in history has just come to power in Germany. The Nazi regime, under Hitler's command, is determined to create an infrastructure that will make their dreams come to reality. And one of the key steps of their scheme to rule the world is Breitspurbahn. It all started with the Nazi Party's plan to connect Germany across the continent through a transportation network. Who was the mastermind behind this project? It is still unclear, but whoever it was must be a fan of the quote, "All roads lead to Rome." Except it was railway tracks in Breitspurbahn. The Breitspurbahn was intended to be the key element of this massive transportation project. But what exactly is so special about this project? One word, its size. It was gigantic. The double-than-usual width of this railway project was capable of transporting massive Nazi troops and weapon supplies in lesser times. The purpose was simple: Nazi domination. This project evolved transportation with its incredible speed and conjunction capabilities. Can you comprehend the massiveness of this project now? The Breitspurbahn project covered 12,000 kilometers. It was set to cover most of the Germany across the continent. Just to give you an idea, it is roughly the same distance as traveling from New York City to Los Angeles and back 2 times. The double-than-regular tracks would allow for larger, heavier, and armored trains to travel along it. These trains were also made to transfer more troops and supplies during wartime. If this project gets completed, there is no stopping the Nazis. Was Breitspurbahn merely a transportation project? No, it was bigger than that. The Nazis were using it as a propaganda. This railway was supposed to cement the Nazi control over the transportation in Europe, but also gain moral superiority and promote the regime. It was a symbol of Nazi engineering, architecture, and industry, and most importantly, their unshakable determination to create a new world order. As you can imagine, building a project of this scale is a huge challenge. The engineers and workers faced countless challenges and obstacles. However, the leadership wanted to complete this project at any cost, and by any cost, they meant anything at all. Another disturbing thing about this project is the use of forced labor. The Nazis were no stranger to using prisoners from occupation and concentration camps for work. This is the first place they went to for the completion of Breitspurbahn. Countless workers died while many were injured, but the construction process went on. Despite the unethical use of forced labor and crimes against humanity, the railway construction depicted remarkable feats of engineering. The engineers used tunneling machines, curved bridges, and high-end equipment to improvise against the hard terrain and conditions, creeping towards their goals. We don't know the exact amount of money invested in this project, but it must have eaten quite a bit of Nazi resources. The construction process of the Breitspurbahn affected many innocent people, and these projects are a great way to understand the mindset of the fascist and totalitarian regimes. Those of you who have already watched the movie or series Snowpiercer are going to love this section. Others must be scratching their heads when they clicked on the title of this video. Don't worry, I'll clear that up right now. So, Snowpiercer is an amazing science fiction set in the post-apocalyptic world. The creators have shown that the only way of transport left is a train that travels around the world non-stop. However, it isn't that simple. The train is divided into sections, just like our society is divided into classes. The rich and powerful get to travel in the front, and the poor suffer at a disadvantage in the back. But how is all of this relevant to Breitspurbahn? Well, if you haven't really made the connection yet, let me explain. The Breitspurbahn train project was also a symbol of inequality and injustice in the Nazi regime. The poor laborers got to work on the tracks, while the elite leaders gave orders and carried out inhuman activities in pursuit of their desires to rule the world. If you haven't already, it is highly recommended to watch, especially if you like science fiction and exploring complex societal issues. Let us know in the comments what you make of this and what are your thoughts about the movie or series if you've already watched it. The Breitspurbahn dream is dead. The project was never completed due to several reasons. It was too massive and the regime was struggling to provide funds and keep it alive. However, the ruins of this project are still there, a living testament of what this project once represented, the horrors of Nazi regime. The project might be dead, but the impact of the Breitspurbahn is very well and alive. At its time, the project provided numerous construction jobs. The tracks and bridges that are left behind now pave the way for transport transformation later in the region. Yet, despite these potential benefits, the Breitspurbahn was ultimately shut down. It was deemed too costly, difficult to build, and impractical to maintain. The remains now serve as a haunting reminder of what could have been and what was lost. Interestingly, the cultural significance of the Breitspurbahn was continued to evolve over time. It has been portrayed in popular media as we discussed in the previous section, such as the Snowpiercer film and TV series. What do you think Breitspurbahn represented? Did the Nazi leaders go too far and ambitious with this, or was it mishandled? If the project was completed, what kind of effect would it have on the war and region? If you were in charge of this massive project, what would you have done differently? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Alright folks, this brings us to the end of the video. We hope this video has given you a deeper appreciation for this important part of history. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to check out our other content for more exciting topics. See you in the next one. Bye!